Hi, folks. I'm Gene McLaughlin. I'd like to welcome you to Old Bridge Outlook with Mayor Owen Henry. On this program, the mayor has an opportunity to chat with you about things taking place in the township and to introduce you to people making things happen in the township. And today we're very fortunate to have as our guest a gentleman who is making a lot of things happen in the township, Steve Mamakas, who is the Executive Officer of the Office of Economic Development. And Steve, welcome and thanks for being with us today.
Thanks for having me.
Mayor, as I said a moment ago, Steve's come in, certainly taking the bull by the horns here, and a lot is on the plate right now, huh?
Well, Gene, I made it a priority about 4 years ago when I got my first term, to embrace the business community. I'd walked around town, knocked on doors, and told them I was going to embrace our local businesses because every mayor knows that they are the backbone of our community.
Right.
And they play an important role in our success. Their success is our success, and vice versa.
Right.
So I thought it was very important to get economic development going here in Old Bridge. That's when Steve came in, and he, as you said, he took the bull by the horns.
Yeah. And
he came up with some great ideas. The Business Alliance, and just has really gotten the ball rolling, and it has snowballed into something really big now that's being looked at all over the state.
Yeah.
And what we've done here in Old Bridge, and what the success we've had in bringing businesses, private and public, together to meet their needs, and at the same time meeting the needs of the community. And that's a story of success, and Steve has a lot of stories to tell. We've been very successful in bringing businesses to town. We've been very successful in helping businesses expand that are here in Old Bridge, and we've been successful in getting their word out and at the same time meeting the needs of our community with some of the programs we've started, and we'll go over that during the show today. And there's just so much to talk about.
Yeah, there certainly is.
And it's like I said, it's a success story, and we're proud of it. I'm happy to tell any mayor that I see in my travels about what's going on, and they always, they want to know more.
Right.
They want to know more how you did it. We had the Lieutenant Governor at one of our events.
Right.
So we are being recognized all over the state of New Jersey for our success story right here in Old Bridge, because we are bucking the trend in the state.
Yes.
We are going, our property values are going up. We've stabilized taxes. At the same time, we're growing. We have a pretty big population, not only in Old Bridge, but our surrounding communities. We have a pretty good draw. So we're a good place to start a business. And it takes a special person to take that risk.
It does.
And start a business. And we want to help that person,
right.
And work with them, and so that to make sure that they are successful.
Well, I think over the years, when you say bucking the trend, you're right, because over the years, I don't think New Jersey generally has been the easiest place to start any business.
Correct.
For anybody. And now it's coming around, at least here.
There were a lot of good things happening with the merger of the hospital.
Right.
It's the perfect storm now to start a business and to grow here in Old Bridge, and you can be very successful.
Okay.
And at the same time, the town can benefit, and that's the key.
Thank you, Mayor. Steve, high praise indeed. You're part of the perfect storm here.
I guess.
Economic development. Let's start, if we can, with something I think you were very instrumental in creating, and that's the Business Alliance. Could you talk about that a little bit? What is the Business Alliance? How did it come about?
Well, it was an idea and concept that I came up with. The mayor and I spoke about it, and we launched it. It's actually 1 year.
Really?
It just hit 1 year mark. It's an alliance. It's a group of people that can come together, the business community. Anyone can join our Business Alliance. It's totally cost-free. So what we try to do is we attract businesses locally and outside our township. So people may be the advertisers who advertise on the bus shelters, who don't have connectivity into our town. They join our alliance. So our alliance has grown up to probably about 500 people who are interested in Old Bridge.
Really?
So they get to communicate and connect directly with the local guy who may want to advertise on that bus shelter. And it expands out largely. It goes from the major corporations, from Amboy Bank to Raritan Bay Medical Center, are all joined in this. And we have the CEOs all the way down to the local owner of the hair cutting salon in our meetings.
Do you go out proactively and solicit these people, or are they coming to you?
It's a little bit of both. I mean, I'm like the beat cop. I'm out there every day, stopping in the stores, enjoying, welcoming them to the Alliance, or inviting them to the Alliance. And also then it starts word of mouth. We have people come down from Bergen County
Really?
to, real estate guys. So, and the alliance is made up of business owners, business managers, property owners, developers, people who have interest in our town. It could be a real estate guy. Anybody who has interest to come here.
And as we talked off the air, the Business Alliance per se has sprung a number of different activities. And you touched on one, I think a job fair.
A job fair. What we did early on last year, we had our first job fair.
Right. I remember.
Working with the Middlesex County Workforce Development
Yes.
Organization. So working with the county, we had over 50 vendors in there. And that also tied into the alliance, where some of our alliance members were in there. And people did get hired. Local people got hired at our job fair. So that's one of the main things we want to do, is allow our residents to work local or get a job if they're out of a job. At the same time, after that, we created an innovative program, which was the resume drop-off resource event.
Yeah.
Just if you're a resident, come and drop off a resume. We had the workforce development team there again, talking to them, helping them with their resumes. But basically now we have a list of people's resumes in our town. So
Right.
when I go into a business or we get to a business alliance meeting, hey, I'm looking for a certified nurse to work in one of our urgent
Yeah.
care centers. We look through the resumes and say, hey, maybe we have that person, or we connect them right up with workforce development. So.
You know what's interesting about that, Mayor? I think you often talk about Old Bridge and the community being a resource to bring people in. This is certainly a way to do that concretely, isn't it?
Yeah, and one of the first conversations I have with a new business owner is, how many people do you have? Are they from Old Bridge? And sure
okay.
enough, we go around and we see all the people at jobs, before I cut the ribbon, and they know me because they
Sure.
live here in Old Bridge, and they are so happy to be given that opportunity to work and live in the same place in
Yeah,
the
I
town. They
bet.
don't have to commute, out of town in the morning. So it's important to me to create jobs here in Old Bridge, and it's very important that the people in Old Bridge get first digs at them. And there's been a lot of job creation here in Old Bridge. The Walmart created a lot of jobs. The hospital is a tremendous opportunity
point,
for employment, and even the small mom and pop shops offer employment opportunities, especially for our younger kids in high school.
Yes.
Or working their way through college.
Well, I
So-
guess the smaller businesses are doing the majority of the hiring nationally, even, aren't they? The people who run businesses 50 and under,
Yeah.
they're doing a majority of the hiring.
Yeah, and the workforce development group in the township have different programs that we try to project out there, and they're on our economic development website, where, they hire over 50 veterans,
Training.
training programs. They
ask
have
you
a lot
about
of stuff
veterans.
going on, which people don't know of, and we try to project that out as much as we can.
Steve, when you get together with the Alliance members, do you have a formal agenda? Do you let everybody contribute, support you, or do you seek ideas? How does it work?
A little bit of
because
everything.
As we said, everything is bursting forth
Basically,
here.
how the alliance works
Yes.
is we'll go to a local restaurant or a local business that can accommodate one
Right.
of our events. They then are the ones that host it. So they'll provide food for everyone to come. So if
Okay.
it's a local restaurant, like a Pine Tavern or Benzies, they'll open their doors up, they'll provide the food, and it's no cost to the township. It's them saying, welcome to our community, here's what we have. So what happens at those events, the mayor will speak, welcoming the people to the new ones, the new businesses, anybody who's from out of town. We'll also have guest speakers, like people from the Workforce Development Group. We had the Lieutenant Governor come
Yes.
as a guest speaker
Right.
at one of our larger events. We originally set out to have it as a quarterly event, but it's grown so fast we have it monthly. So we'll have breakfasts at Panera Bread. They'll open their doors up. Christmas party, which is coming up soon. So we'll have guest speakers there. And what we try to do at every event is the newest business that have opened up in the town, we get them up in front of them. We introduce them to the community, and we tell them where they are, what they're about. They give a little couple of minute speech about who they are, why they came to Old Bridge, and so on. So it's a lot goes on in the meetings. It's not just a networking group.
That's what I was going to say.
It's a
yeah.
community that basically is solidifying and talking to each other. sharing ideas, sharing their best practices, and we try to help them along with that. Anything they need, we help them with.
Okay, great. One of the things I think that has come out of the Business Alliance is a tribute to you, if I may hold it up. Our newspaper. You want to talk a little bit about this, folks? If you haven't seen it, this is a brand new newspaper all around Old Bridge. Badly needed. Steve,
Mayor,
it
you
started in your office, Mayor?
I've talked about it already, Gene. I said everybody, nothing but great feedback about it. It's a great source of information here in Old Bridge. Steve, you could probably go into a little bit more detail. You worked
Yes.
with David getting it started and making sure it was going to be a success.
Yes.
It was obviously a need because, as we talked earlier on another show, the local papers don't seem to cover the township at all. They don't seem to cover the township at all. This seems to do that.
Well, Business Alliance spurred one of our local business owners, David Hernandez,
Right.
to say, you know what? Working together, him and I, and as it says in there, for the past year and a half, 2 years, we just kept talking about the good things, the great things that are going on in the
Right.
township, the Uber program, the tax card program, our awards, and so on. And he stepped up to the plate and he said, you know what I want to create for the township, working with the Mayor's Office of Economic Development and the Mayor, as you can see our logo is up there.
Yes, yes.
I want to create a hyper-local newspaper that will project all good in the town, from the school system, and I'll get into how the school system has connected with
Yes,
the Alliance as
yeah.
well. But the main thing is he wanted to make it affordable advertisement for the local businesses, the small guy who can get into
Okay,
that
I
magazine.
did not understand. Okay,
And
thank you.
how he explains it, I'll give him the kudos. Is this paper doesn't wind up on the driveway where you can get it caught up in a snowblower.
Right.
It goes directly into the mailboxes. 22,000 mailboxes in our township, and we'll expand out after that. So you could imagine the cost to get it into
I was
the
going to say,
mailboxes.
that's a considerable cost, even third class. That's a
But it shows the
considerable
investment that local businesses is putting into our township and into our community, the business community.
okay. I think it's a great idea.
Yes.
I love
So
it.
it highlights everything from school system. We have the superintendent is there speaking. Many of the people probably have seen it. It's a monthly publication.
Right.
So it
And
stays
it's also
around.
online. I noticed
It's
it's
also
online
online.
as well. Yes.
So it stays around, so you have that on the account that you can read it every
Right.
now and then and just see what's going on. It connects all of the resources in the town. and-
All the township departments participate, contribute.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Tremendous.
That's how it's spurred, and now other towns are seeing that we have our own hyper-local newspaper. So that's another part of how the Alliance is. It's a rolling machine now,
Right.
and it's moving along.
Okay, Steve. One other thing. The magazine.
The magazine.
The magazine. How'd this start, folks? You've probably seen this. How'd this start?
The magazine was another way that we can talk about our town. Actually, we were celebrating the 75th anniversary of Cheesequake State Park.
Right.
So it basically highlights our town as our history, what we're about, our location, our attractions, and all.
Yes.
It was the publication before our All Around Old Bridge.
Right.
But this one gives
A broader.
a broader perspective
stroke, yeah.
and has articles from the hospital and so on. So it's came
Okay.
about quickly, actually, and it's a good resource for real estate agents to use to show our community what we're all about.
Okay, thank you, Steve. Steve, I'm going to ask you to hold your thought for a moment. Folks, we're getting ready to take a break right now. Our guest is Steve Mamakas, who is the Executive Officer of the Office for Economic Development here in the township. We're talking a lot about the projects he's involved in. We'll be back in a moment to continue. Please stay with us.
Drop that baby.
Folks, welcome back. Our guest today on Old Bridge Outlook is Steve Mamakas, who is the Executive Officer of the Office of Economic Development. Steve, we were talking about a lot of projects before we went to break. One of the bigger ones, the one that seems to get a lot of publicity, is the Uber program. Could you touch on that briefly?
Okay, definitely. The Uber program, I was thinking about a different way to going out, socializing, friends, family.
Right.
You see people who get a little bit too much in them, or you're just in a restaurant, you see somebody that, and then you think about, what if that person gets on the road? How can we do it? Maybe connecting with somebody. So I made a call out to Uber, and they were very acceptant of this idea and project. One of the towns, small town somewhere in the state, had just about launched it, but they wanted to really expand on this idea that I had brought to them. So it basically allows people who feel they've had a little bit too much to hit the button and get home.
Okay. And Mayor, that seems pretty good for the town too,
it's, Gene, it's so important, especially this time of the year.
Yes.
And of course, here in Old Bridge, we have a zero tolerance for drunk driving. We've had some horrific incidents. So it's so much easier, and all the participating establishments serve alcohol, and it gives them peace of mind. They don't have people leaving their establishment.
Absolutely.
That they weren't watching, or they drink too much, or sometimes you just get caught up. You'll go out to dinner and you'll see somebody at the bar. You go over, and next thing you know, you had 2 or 3 beers, and say, boy, maybe I shouldn't drive home. This, like I said, as Steve said, you go to getuber.com. A lot of the young people have been using Uber for years. I encourage everyone to put it on their phone, and then all you do, as Steve said, you go to and you press Uber, and you'll see a driver will come and give you a ride home within Old Bridge. And then the next day you can go back and get your car.
So it's just an app.
It's an
you
app
put an app
that
on
you
your
go
phone.
and it's free Thursday, Friday, and Saturday nights. I've had great feedback again from people who have used it. They appreciate it. And again, it gives the local establishments the opportunity to, do something really good.
Do something good.
Do something good. We don't know if we've saved a life. I don't. You don't know. It is one of those where you don't know. But I'm thinking we've.
You save problems anyway. If it's not a
problem.
life, you save a life.
Anyone who's gone through the DWI will tell you it's a nightmare.
Oh yeah.
It affects your entire life, money, and
just your record.
And your record, your insurance.
And the other point, Mayor, is that it allows our police resources to be responding to other
Good point.
priorities
Well
as
said.
opposed to pulling somebody over and endangering their lives, or maybe on the Route 9 corridor for somebody who's just being stupid and drinking too much and driving.
A DWI takes a lot of township resources. It
I
takes
bet
a
it does,
patrolman
I'm sure.
hours to process a DWI, and nobody wants to go through that.
So now the Uber program, one of the inspirations was my daughters would go out and say, "Oh, we're taking Uber, we're going," and I said, "That's good." They take Uber back. I would have to go pick them up prior to that.
Yeah,
but whenever I can, I will. But Uber is the safer transportation for them.
Okay,
So-
good. Thank you, gentlemen.
And Gene, it's important that this was a local contractor.
Yeah.
A resident, John Palmer from Old Bridge, who owns Nanick Construction, put up all the money for this.
Oh, he did. Okay.
So he's
Yeah, so
Okay.
basically how it transpired out, it doesn't cost taxpayers anything. What it is, the Business Alliance, I took it to the Business Alliance. The Business Alliance, then we have other businesses ready in line to support this program. So basically, they signed the contract with Uber. They basically said, I will put up the money for our community. And John is a longtime resident of our community. He's lived here since he was young. And he says, anything I can do for my community. And we have other businesses lined up. And the next phase of this is to expand it out. Now we want to look at, once this is really, it's running. Once it's running, now we've been talking to medical organizations in town, Raritan Bay Medical Center, to expand it out that where they will pay for rides for us seniors to possibly get back and forth to a doctor within our geographical fence of our township. So it's a rolling, again, it's taking on its own momentum
Right.
and expanding out. So it's a good program. Hopefully it's going to save lives and help our senior community.
Folks,
Get
I
it.
hope you heard that. Uber, if your holiday time, you're celebrating a little bit, or you just want the convenience of letting someone else drive, the Uber program, what do you call it, an app on your telephone, I think is for you. Thank you, gentlemen, for talking about that. If I could ask you to talk about one other thing, and that is this card. I'll hold it up here, Think Old Bridge. It is the property tax reward program. Steve, could you touch on that a little bit?
So basically, Think Old Bridge, let's circle back a little bit. Think Old Bridge is our branding campaign for our town. Think Old Bridge. We want anybody who drives through this town or enters this town to think Old Bridge. That's right, Mayor. You can't get anywhere south unless you go through Old Bridge. All right?
Right.
And we'll get into the branding and marketing aspect of it. But to keep the continuity, the card is now the Think Old Bridge, Shop Old Bridge card. So basically, again, third-party operation, inspired by the Business Alliance as well. Their connection to it, signing on as businesses. The businesses then offer a percentage. Each business offers its own percentage. So what it does is it keeps people shopping in town, keeps people going to our own businesses. So the mayor may want to elaborate a little bit more on it. And
It was a way to keep the money here in Old Bridge.
Right.
There's a lot of competition. People have options where they can go shopping.
Right.
And this was a way where a business could now have something up on another business. Like, if you come here and buy from me, I'm going to put a portion of that sale towards your taxes or a rebate check back to you at the end of the year. So it's a win-win for everybody. That business, you come in, you spend your money, and the person who's spending their money now has the ability to get a reduction off their property taxes.
That's
and
not
I
bad.
use the card.
so how it works,
Yeah.
just exactly what he
Yeah.
says, get it off the property taxes. But if you're a renter,
You'll get a rebate
you get a check back.
Mm-hmm.
If somebody's coming to visit you and they use your phone number, they're shopping in our stores, and you get the rebate or the money back on
That's a
your
win-win,
taxes.
isn't it?
It's a win-win for all.
It's a great idea.
Yeah. So the businesses are stepping up and saying, I will contribute. Please come and shop in my store. So
Okay,
that's the way
great
it's
idea.
working. Two other things
Yes,
is
please.
the cards
Yes.
were sponsored by 3 organizations.
Mm-hmm.
Amboy Bank, Ace Pharmacy, which is on 516, and Excel Urgent Care, which is right next door to it. They, as I said, as the mayor knows, no money out of the township's pocket. They sponsored 20,000 cards for our
Wow.
community.
20,000 of these cards, folks.
So they can pick them up at the mayor's office, the library, the senior center, or any of the participating stores. They just go up onto the website for it's property tax card, I believe, .com for our township, and they can see all the participating businesses as they come on, and more are coming on every week.
Okay, thank you, Steve. Steve, if we can talk about something we touched on off the air, and that is an award that you have received. Can you talk about that? New Jersey Biz paper. What's involved here? What was recognized?
We're very proud of that award. We're the only one out of 30 other submittals in the state. The Public-Private Partnership Award, it basically honors innovative, different ways that people are working together with the private, taking the private sector and connecting them up with the municipality or state and so on. So we were honored to receive this last month, Mayor, on our 1-year anniversary of the Business Alliance.
Good timing.
And this basically, we have an article here in the NJ Biz magazine showcasing all of the stuff from the Business Alliance to the Uber to the property tax card to everything we're doing in the township. And this is a statewide publication. It's also been identified from the League of Municipalities. We had connectivity with them at the meeting. So our Business Alliance is being recognized, as the mayor said in the beginning, across the state. I have other mayors, I have police chiefs contacting me from different towns to find out about our Uber program or to talk about the alliance and how they can bring or connect to our alliance and make it bigger and bigger.
Wow.
So this is the culmination of it got to this point where this is a publication throughout the state to all businesses and municipalities. So, Mayor, if you want to take it on a little bit
yeah.
more.
It just said, when a community has challenges or problems or challenges, it's important that the business community be able to react. Getting people home safe,
Yes.
at no cost to the
Right.
taxpayers. Now the businesses have stepped up. People are going to get home safe with the property taxes. Everybody complains about their taxes are too high.
Right.
Well, here's the business community stepping up, and here's a way to take that burden from.
Everybody's taking ownership in a way
Yeah.
of these kind of
Yeah,
programs.
and as a resident, I save my as well.
Yeah, it's no cost to the taxpayers. In
Okay.
fact, they are benefiting from the businesses And it's just the beginning. There's so many issues and challenges our town faces,
I'm sure.
and I want to bring businesses and
As you've
our
said.
business community into all these because they know how to solve problems. I'm from the business world.
Right.
We know how to solve
That's
problems.
right. That's right.
As well as
Yeah,
Sitting on this side of the table is
Yeah, I was going to
frustrating, I'll
say,
tell
as
you
we've
that.
talked, you know,
As
there's the
well as
business
I-
way of doing things and the government way of doing
way,
things.
and,
Yes.
Another component of
Yes, sir.
why we received the award is we've connected the Board of Education into the business community. When they have fundraisers, they attend the events, they talk to the businesses. We were at one event, they were doing the Civil War
Civil
reenactment.
War reenactment. One
Oh,
of
you
the
mentioned
schools
that,
needed
yeah.
support, and the businesses stepped right up to
That
the plate.
night they wrote
They wrote
checks,
checks.
for $250 and to buy the uniforms. So it bridges that together.
Wow.
It bridges the community together. We also have our TV program that we're creating, the Healthy Kitchen,
Kitchen, the
which
cooking.
is another combination of bringing the business to the community to get the chefs from all of our restaurants into our Jocelyn Diabetes Center and teach people how to cook healthy. So promoting our businesses at the same time as promoting our Raritan Bay Medical Center and its merger. It's another culmination derived through the mayor's office and through the alliance.
Okay,
A lot of
thank you.
stuff.
Steve, I can touch on two other things. You've done some work, we call it the spotlighting businesses and also grand openings. Can you touch on that? Mayor, you're at a lot of these things.
Yeah,
You
it's
seem to be
cutting
always
ribbons.
cutting a
Yeah,
ribbon,
we're-
Mayor.
We're going to need new scissors. And it's probably one of the best things I do as a mayor because I get out into the community, see the business people who have made, who are taking a big chance, and I try to make them feel as comfortable as I can,
Right.
welcoming them to Old Bridge and working with them to make sure they're successful. And we've done a lot all over. I've lost track. Steve.
Yeah,
It's got to be
it's-
50,
It's more than 50.
more than 50.
Right.
Up into 60 now.
And
range.
just the other day,
I have 10 on the board right now ready to go.
I cut a ribbon on a new group home in town. It just moved in off Texas Road, offering housing, safe housing to 4, mentally and physically challenged individuals.
Really?
So, and what an honor that was. And that was, again, the
Yes.
state, municipality, business coming together
Yeah.
to offer that so much needed services, not only in Old Bridge, but all over the state. So we were proud to cut that ribbon. Business after business, whether it be a learning institution, just you name it. Robert Wood Johnson,
Right.
when they opened up the new spinning room, and it's great to see so much activity going on. here in Old
And that
Bridge.
can be seen on the Mayor's Office of Economic Development Facebook page. Just type in Mayor's Office of Economic Development, Old Bridge, and you'll see all the ribbon cuttings. I mean, you could just keep going down the line of all that stuff. And like the mayor said, when we go into the business for the grand openings, how many employees do you have? I mean, the local Domino's Pizza, I think, employs 50 people.
Yeah, and
I mean, you don't realize how many people are employed in the town. But it's the thing, when the business opens up, it's to create that continuity, to stay engaged with them so that they're not in their own little rowboat out there. Do what we
Exactly.
can. Help them connect to get funding from maybe the workforce development group to fund an employee to help them along. So there's the spotlights. What we do is we go out, we try to spotlight different businesses in town to give a variety. We'll spotlight a restaurant. We'll spotlight the Raritan Bay Medical Center. Different ones.
Right.
Some of them are legacies. We want to make sure that they get their
Yes. Right.
time in the sun, that they've been here and they invested all those years. So it culminates into all of it, the spotlights and the grand openings. And like I said, I got 10 more on our board, man, that we got to get out to.
And what we found, Gene, the businesses that do become successful, they invest right back into the community.
Put it back in.
They go
yeah.
back into the schools. They sponsor events. You see the names all the time. We
Yes.
use the names who help, it's a very good feeling. Very good. As a business owner myself, being
Right.
able to give back to community, it's a good feeling.
Right.
When a community, makes you successful, you get that to give that back.
Okay, if we can wrap up by talking about upcoming events, what's looking forward? What are we looking at in terms of development, in terms of new?
Well, from a project standpoint, we have the new hotel.
But that's
Yeah.
our biggest project right now going, and that's the one we're looking forward to. They're
Yeah.
building the hotel now as we speak. They can't come soon enough. We're cutting that ribbon. I can't
Right.
wait.
Yeah.
And we have some small projects going on. We have some businesses expanding we're working with. They've become so successful, they need bigger spaces. We have a potential large warehouse facility.
So through the branding and marketing and through the
Yes, sir.
publicity we're getting, the phone doesn't stop ringing
I'm
of
sure.
people who are interested in our town. I call it, we're in the golden triangle of roads, which we have 5 major roads run through our town. The branding of the Think Old Bridge, we wanted to just constantly keep thinking about Old Bridge. So we have interest in a 300,000 square foot warehouse that's coming.
That would be nice.
They've outgrown the population over in the North Brunswick and South Brunswick area and Cranberry. So they're looking at Old Bridge, giving our proximity and our demographics. We have a person interested in opening a microbrewery in our township.
There you
So
go,
I've been taking
okay.
him around town, showing him different locations.
Certainly popular.
And I believe it will land here in our township. Other people calling for investment, saying, where can I buy a piece of property to build an office building or a store or something. So it's really culminated from calls from different towns, like I mentioned before. What are you guys doing over in Old Bridge? It's groundbreaking.
Right.
So it's happening.
Okay, well, Steve, thank you very much for being with us today, and congratulations on all that you are doing. And folks, in that regard, I just want to mention that Steve hosts his own program here on Old Bridge Television, Let's Talk Business. Today we've given you a broad taste of many of the ventures and many of the events Steve is involved in. On his own program, he treats each one a little more depth. We urge you to watch this Let's Talk Business, hosted by Steve Mamakas. And before we go, there's one thing I'd like to mention. As we alluded to early on, holidays are coming, and there's one major event that takes place in the Old Bridge area every year. The unofficial beginning, if you will, of the holiday season. On December 5th this year, it's a Monday, it's the lighting of the township Christmas tree and the menorah. So we urge you, watch on television, or better yet, come out and view the event. The mayor hosts it. It's a great night. The kids come out, they see Santa Claus, they do some singing, they have some hot chocolate. A wonderful evening to kick off the holiday season. Thank you for watching. This has been Old Bridge Outlook with Mayor Henry. I'm Gene McLaughlin. Thank you, and take care.